Hey friends, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. I am Frederick, as you know already, and I am happy to have you here today. Do you know what we're going to talk about in this video? Yes, I believe you've read the title of this, so you know, isn't it? We're going to talk about how to upload files with drag and drop or paste from clipboard in Blazor. So maybe you might be saying that there are a lot of third libraries which can do this. A critical example here, it is Syncfusion, Blazor, DevExpress. Yes, their component or their libraries can do this. But what if in case you want to customize your own? Then you can watch this video, because this video actually going to help you to create your own custom drag and drop or paste from clipboard image upload or file upload in Blazor. This video credit goes to Gerard because he made this possible. So I'm going to take you through step by step the Gerard code of implementing this, then we all do it together. When I'm done with this, the source code will be available, so you can check this video description and get the source code as well. So without wasting much time, you click or create a Blazor WebAssembly project. This works in Blazor Server, Blazor Web App, any of them is going to work, okay? So here, for this practical purpose, let's use a Blazor WebAssembly. Then I have a name known as a Blazor app upload file with drag and drop or paste. Very long, never mind. Let's create the project. Now .NET 8, as you know, that is what we are using currently. So once you have a project created, you know, when dealing with mouse movement, we have to handle this event using a JavaScript method. Right, so let's create a function in JavaScript. Then at the end of the day, we are going to import it into a model. Then we're going to use that model to call method that we created in JavaScript, get it work done in the Blazor application, and we use the input element, we write it up, and that is all. Very simple one, few steps and we are done. So let's go to the solution. Now in the www folder, I'm going to create one folder in here for organization purpose, and I'll name it as JS. So with this JS, I'm going to add a new item, and now with this item, I'm going to say look for JavaScript. So here I'm going to name it as maybe upload. Here I'm going to use file upload. Okay, so file upload.js. So that is the name that you're going to create. You're going to hold our functions in here. So first of all, we have to have an export function. And now with this function, we have to give it name. So maybe what name can we do it? Initialize or start. Start file, maybe drop zone. So let's start file drop zone. Yes, so drop zone. And in this, we need to specify or provide some parameters in here. We need to specify the element. Now which element are you talking about? That is a div container which is going to get changed. So let's say this is div element to be okay. And also we're going to have this input file. This input file, as you know, that is a component as well, the input file component. Okay, so in that you open this. Now the first thing to do here is we are going to add a class when the user drags a file over the drop zone, or that is this zone. Okay, so here I would like to put in drop zone element. Whoa, so drop zone element like this. Okay, now first of all, so Gerard made it clear that we can have a function known as onDrag hover. So if I hover it, we say I'm dragging it. If I drag to hover on the specific drop zone element, I want to prevent the default and add this hover class. Aside from that, if I leave, what should happen? Also have to remove this class. So it's a matter of adding and removing. Okay, so as soon as I hover the cursor on that drop zone, a class must be added. As soon as I remove it, the same class must be removed. What if in case I want to paste? Then we can have this method to paste it up. So if you want to paste it, then it is on drop. So that is if you want to drop it, paste it, we prevent the default. Then we also remove this hover, and because as soon as the mouse get to that element, it's going to add this. Okay, so we have to remove the hover, and I'll set the file property of an input element, and I raise the change event. This input element is going to be the input element or input component. That's what we're going to use in the Blazor application, or the default Blazor input tag. Is it input tag or input element or input component? Okay, so here that's what we are doing, and now here we create an event which is changed. So we're going to raise this event. Okay, now aside from that, what I'm going to do in case I paste it, so now I copy the image to the clipboard, and in here I'm going to paste the image or the file here. So let's receive the file, and on paste you can just set the file's property of the input element, and I raise the change event. So the event that we create, we are going to also raise the same change event in here. All right, then we get the clipboard.file. So what we copied, we are going to retrieve them in here. We set this input file element to this clip from the clipboard. You see? So here, that's what we're going to be using in the input, the Blazor input file. Now it has extension of .files, and we're going to assign the file from the clipboard that we copied. We're going to assign it to this. You know, this could be a list. That's why here we are having this list. Okay, so if it is only one, it's going to add to that list. If it's more, it's going to add them to the list than setting up only a single instance. Okay, after doing this, we need to register all events. So let's register all the events. We're going to bind this event to this drop zone element. So the drop zone element, that's what you're actually going to register to, so that each of it is going to perform what we need. So you can see drag enter, drag over, drag leave, drop, and now paste. So these are our JavaScript method that we are initializing or initiating it in here. Okay, so drop zone, drop zone, drop zone. Okay, so we are done with this. The next thing that we're going to do here is we have to return object, or the return object allows to unregister the event when the Blazor component is destroyed. You know, when you look at the Blazor lifecycle, it starts from initialize to render, parameter change, on after render async, and should render, and we have dispose. So when it is disposing, we need to check if we have any event attached to, we have to unsubscribe from it. So in that, he created this method to return it. So let me do same. Let's do same. Okay, so he created this method that we can deassociate it from the element drop zone before the page gets destroyed or disposed. So the same method that we wired up in here, we are removing, subtracting or removing the same event in here, so the page dies alone, but do not die with this. Okay, so once we have this, we are good to go. We can now close this. Then let's go to our Blazor. So we go to our pages. Then let's say this is our home page. So this is how we're going to work in. Now let me clear all this. So in here, we need to inject runtime, because you know, to inject JavaScript method, you need to inject IJS runtime, and you can now name it as JS. Okay. Aside from that, we need async disposable, so we can dispose it, the method that we called from the JavaScript. Okay, let me save this, close this, let's open it again. So IJS runtime, I wonder why it is IJS runtime, it is not popping up. Inject IJS runtime, and it seems like I'm not getting this. Okay, don't worry, maybe we have to build this project to get it times. Never mind. Okay, so we need to have maybe a simple CSS to actually customize our section, and he made us, or he created this style. So I'm going to say this is style, and now within this style we have this drop zone padding to 20 pixels, width 100 pixels, minimum height 100, and now border radius as 5 to put it in a round corner mode. Also, you have this drop down. If it is hovered, we are having this border style to solid. Okay, that's what we are having. Now, aside from that, inside this, once you've created this, you know, we have to create our div and now specify the input element in there. So the div name is supposed to be the drop zone element, because that is where the action is going to be attached to. This is where the event is going to happen in. So you make a reference to this and drop zone element. Then this is the class drop zone. So there's a class in here, drop zone. It's going to apply the CSS style to this class. And now if it is hovered, you want to apply this style as well. You see, this is a CSS style that we are adding, right? That's fine. We have just a page here, drop file or paste an image from the clipboard or select a file using the input. Okay, we have this input file in here, and now we have this onChange. We are going to bind it to this onChange event, and now we're making the reference here because, you know, in the JS or the JavaScript file that we created, we made an effort, or we said that, hey, we are going to supply you with an input tag or an element. So we need to make a reference so we can provide the element with the current data which has been selected, or even we can get the data from the clipboard and assign it to this form. Is it this form or this input element? Okay, I want to save this, close this and open it again. So I'm still not having that deep one. Okay, never mind, let's move on. So once you have that, you know, we are going to store, or we are going to cache the image as soon as it's decoded, or it's convert to basically for string. So let's have our code session in here, and we're gonna have our string. So image source. So initially, let's send this to string.empty. And now when we have this, you know, we have to create an element reference for this. You know, there's an element here, so you need to create a reference so we can have this drop zone element. You know, we want to supply this and the input into the JS. Okay, so supplying these as a values to the JS method that we created. So let's specify them here. Element reference, that's a drop zone element, as you can see from the here. And also this input file, we have this input file in here, the reference that we created. So you can see that we are using this reference for each of these div and the input file as well. Okay, let's save this. I want us to build this project so we can have it in a colored form. Wouldn't that be nice? Yes, I believe it will. So let's do that. I know by all means when we build this, we're going to have an error, but never mind. We know we're going to have an error. We want to have the colored one, so let's build this. So here we need to restore some packages, and now here comes in the error. So we're going to pop up and see, because we are using our async, but we are not writing any method dispose. We are not doing that. So then we're going to have an error here. And let's wait peacefully and see. Yes, so I expected this, and you see we are implementing the interface from this async dispose. That's the dispose async. So with this too, let's see. Okay, so we did not close this. It's good that it has gotten us notified. Okay, so I think this is solved. If I close this, yeah, this is solved now. Okay, let's go back to the home. And now good, we have it, element reference and input file. When check, you can see we have this input file in the colored form. IGS runtime, we have it, and that's fine. It is working. So you know, how do you how do you call JavaScript method? We do that in on after render async. Since we are using this JavaScript WebAssembly, we can use even the initialize async, because with that it's going to run on the client browser. But when using the server side or using the Blazor web app with the server rendering, it has to be the on after render async. That is when only the DOM becomes available to invoke any JavaScript method. Okay, so in that we need to override that method, and we need to initialize this. So when the page that's a on after render async, after the page has initialized, we're going to check if it's first render. We want to invoke this using this IJS object reference, and here we are making this import. So we are importing the JS file, and now what is the name? It is ./JS folder /drop zone. And now here we did not use drop zone, but what did we use? When you check it here, it is a file upload. So we can actually grab the name from here, file upload.js. So that's what we need to use here. Aside from that, we need to initialize the drop zone. And now we have to create this drop zone instance. Where from this drop zone instance, since it's going to be in a JS form, we can use this IJS object reference to hold that. So we're going to be using this to actually dispose it and also to include it. So it's better that we set it aside. So we can set it aside here. So we have this IJS object reference set twice. You have this to hold the model, and now here to hold the drop zone instance. Okay, now drop zone instance here, it is what we are calling this. So we are calling this method start file drop zone. So we're going to copy this and I will place this here. So we're going to start this drop zone. So when it starts, the script that's going to use to start, we're going to store it in here as drop zone instance from this IJS object reference. Okay, then what I'm providing, this method needs two parameters: drop zone, that is a div, and now the input file, that's an element. So we created an references in here, and that is exactly what we are doing. If you check here, we created a references element as drop zone element and an input file as input file. So we need to supply this in here, and that is exactly what we are doing: drop zone element and our input file dot element. We're not going to provide everything in here. We want to provide the element itself. Okay, so we can get it in there. So that's when the page after rendering, that's what you want to actually do: make the JS available in the system so you can perform all other models related to the JS. Now let's go to when the file change. So when the file changes, if I click on select any file, then what am I going to do? So this is what I'm going to do. So just get a stream over here, open read stream, then create an instance of this memory, copy to the stream. So copy stream in here to the memory. Then we go to get it to base default string. You can see that we are converting this to base default string, and in here we are appending the content type. This content type could be maybe image/png or this and this and that, right? So we do it in here. This content type here tells you that, or it tells you that, as you can see, the MIME type. Is it .png, .jpg, etc. Okay, so that's what we are doing in here. Okay, so actually this is going to happen when the user clicks on this input button, and now input here, and now this file content gets changed. That's where this is going to get fired. Okay, so the next thing here is we're going to deassociate, okay, this event when the page is about to dispose. So unregister the drop zone event when the page is about to die. Yeah, so when it's about to die, remove all events that have been wired up in here. And now here, for us to get this image, we need to, the string that we created, where is it? We created a string as image source. After converting this into base default string, we want to set it to this. Then we create an image tag. So an image, where is it? We have an image. We need to have an image in here so we can display the image that has been converted here into the base default string. So we check if drop zone instance is not equal to null, then we want to invoke this dispose. Okay, then here too we check if the model here is not equal to null, we want to dispose async. This async here is coming from this iasync where disposable interface. So that's why we are implementing this in here. Yeah, that's all that we need to do. Very simple one, isn't it? Very simple as well. Thanks so much you, Gerard, for making this possible. At least some of us, we can implement this in our code whilst not implementing the one from the library. Okay, no, yes, you can do that. Okay, so let's create an image tag to display the content of this anytime that we upload an image. So here, where is it? After the upload, we want to set this here. There's an image, and maybe we can have it in the form width as maybe can we make it 500, 400, 500, 400, and our height here it is also 500, etc. No, 500 is too much. let's say 200. It's going to be in a short form. Okay, so never mind, we can do that. And now here, instead of using this source, we're going to use the one that we created. I hope if you've done it, isn't it? Clap for yourself, you've done well. So let's paste this here. That's fine. So let's run this and see. Oh yeah, so it is ready, as you can see from here. Let me zoom it a little bit so you can see it well. Okay, so we have upload files, and as you can see from here, you have drop a file or paste an image from the clipboard, or select file using this input. So if I click on this, I can select file in here. So let me actually prepare some files so we can copy, can drag, we can just copy, move, and choose as well. Alright, so when you look at this, you can see that from here we have these two files in here. So one, I can just drag, and now remove it, and you can see we have it set, right? Have you seen that? I can also copy this for route. I can also copy this like this. Or can we copy from here? Maybe can we copy here? We can copy this. Now check something. I click on this. This for routing. This is data binding. So this for, we have default one for data binding. Now I click on this one, or I can just paste it here. See? Okay, yeah, you can see now when you click on this and paste it, you can see now we have it in here. So this for routing. I can also make a copy again, or I can just drag, and I can see. So drag, you see up, check it out, and as soon as I remove the cursor, see what happened. Now there's the same thing, right? That's the routing. Okay, let me also find another image from here so you can see this yourself. Okay. I have one here. Let me just drag this and see what's gonna happen. Yes, because now we have this, isn't it? So this is the method that we use. I can also copy this one and I'll click anywhere and I'll paste it, and I can see I have this set here. Okay, so that is a way to do it, at least for now. Through the help of this Gerard, we can actually do our own customization of drag and drop, whether using any third library or yes, a third library. Yeah, that's it for this video. I'm going to make this source code available, so you can check the description and have the link in there. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourself. I'm going to catch you up in the next video.